And thank you very much, Fabiola. So yes, thanks all for joining us today for a quick webinar. My name is Michael Mohebi from the University of Liverpool in the UK. And as Fabiola mentioned, we've got one of our current Mexican international students, Jorge Luna. And Jorge is going to tell you a little about his experience at the university and a few other things. And I'm going to give you some information about the university, probably in about 20 minutes. So, of course, we have to mention the coronavirus situation because it's less than ideal. And obviously, it's having a big impact on everybody's lives and everybody's plans for the future. I can understand this must be a very worrying time if you're thinking about university and thinking about studying abroad. So I'll tell you what I can tell you today in terms of updates and in terms of how the university is responding. Then we'll take a look at the university in general and we'll focus on why Liverpool, why would you consider Liverpool, and if you have offers from a few different universities, why is Liverpool a good choice? So I hope that sounds okay. So the first thing I'll say is obviously we've got such an awful situation which is unfolded. It's happened everywhere across the world, and we realise it's a very difficult time. So you guys probably have a lot of questions. Maybe you're interested in when will the university begin teaching? Will it be September as usual, or will we have a later start date like January, or maybe a bit sooner, November, October? People are asking us, will we be teaching online, or will we be holding off until we can just teach in a physical one-to-one standard way? There's lots of questions about visas, travel, English language qualifications, and there's probably lots and lots of other issues that you're interested in. So because this is such a unique situation, there's so many different agencies working together, like the government, the universities, the aviation industry, there's the visa agency. There's so many different moving pieces that it's very difficult to give you a clear answer on some of these questions today. However, we have got some question and answer pages set up on our website to keep you informed. So if you visit our website via the links on the screen, you will see a general FAQ. In English, that usually just means for question and answers. And this is the page which will be updated as soon as we have major announcements. So in the next few weeks, we're hoping to have a clearer idea of when we will begin teaching and exactly how that will happen. So that will be posted on the FAQ page on the screen. In terms of pre-sessional English, Mexican students usually have very, very good English, so you may or may not need a pre-sessional. But if you are interested in that, I can tell you that all of our pre-sessional programs are now online for the end of the academic year. You can find out more via the English Language Centre link I've put on the screen. But that's one thing we do know: pre-sessional English will be online for the time being. So this is our current webpage. And if you just visit the university's webpage, you'll see the 3 links at the top of the screen. And I've highlighted the one you need in red. And this will give you information, or all different types of information for applicants, for students with a general interest, and even for staff of the university. We've got a lot of information on there. So that's really all I can say for now about, sort of questions and answers to do with coronavirus. Check the website. Also, keep in touch with us and keep in touch with the team at Innova, because we'll be cascading information as soon as it's available, and then that way they can help you as well as us. So I'll focus the rest of my time now on the university itself, and I'll tell you a bit about it and why we think it's a good option. So basically, the University of Liverpool is one of the most traditional academic research institutions in the whole of the UK. And we're a member of something called the Russell Group. And you can think of the Russell Group as like a UK version of the Ivy League in the United States. So the Russell Group, like the Ivy League, is a group of very exclusive, kind of very well-respected research-based universities. And another name in the UK for this Russell Group is the red brick universities. Now, the picture you can see on the screen is, this was the first ever building in the University of Liverpool. It's now a gallery and a museum and a cafe. And the rest of the campus spreads out from this central gallery called the Victoria Gallery and Museum. But you can see these red bricks, and the Russell Group is called the Red Brick Group of Universities because of this building in Liverpool. So that tells you something about the kind of how traditional and how academic and how well respected the university is. But as well as being a research university and being very well respected, we are what's known as a civic university. So what is a civic university? Essentially, a civic institution, it's a university that is not only based in a city or in a particular area, but it strategically and proactively engages with that area to improve things for everybody in the local community, all the various stakeholders within the city. And in return, the expertise of the community and the experience that we can gain in terms of research, in terms of experience for our students and staff, that also benefits the university. So for example, some of the ways that we engage with the city is that we have various public health research going on, which can help members of the local community, and then also our students and staff, and research profile is enhanced by that experience. So it's a two-way virtuous relationship, really. If we look at the COVID-19 context, some of the ways that we have leveraged our position as a civic institution and as a research intensive institution is by setting up research projects. First of all, we've got about £10 million in active research funding going on at the moment around the coronavirus situation. But very, very quickly, Liverpool set up 22 brand new coronavirus research projects with just over £1 million worth of funding. And that's looking at things like vaccines, testing, contact tracing, and various other research projects. But because of the type of institution we were able to set this up immediately and become an engine for changing the situation and for improving things for everybody. So that's the type of institution Liverpool is. We're not just a teaching institution. We really do help solve problems in the world and create new knowledge. Some other examples of what we've done is, from our engineering department, they've actually begun using their 3D printing technology to produce face masks and personal protective equipment for NHS, which is the National Health Service in the UK, for NHS frontline staff. So that's an unusual way that we've helped from a slightly different perspective. Also, some of our accommodation, our students' accommodation, some of it is now vacant because obviously some groups of students left the university and flew home or went back to their homes in the UK. So we've opened that up and gave it to NHS staff, so doctors, nurses, lab staff, people who are working on the fight against coronavirus on our campus, because we have the biggest hospital in Liverpool directly based on the campus. So that's another way that we engage and we help We've got 150 researchers from the university and the Liverpool School of Tropical Medicine who are collaborating on some of these programs. And we have academics appearing in national television almost on a daily basis. So on the news on the BBC, for example, and on various different programs. We have Professor Tom Solomon, who is a professor and an expert in zoonosis, which is the transfer of diseases from animals to humans. So we have these experts who are always called on to give a view in the national press and in the news. Some of the other ways that we've sort of changed what we're doing to help students is that we were the first university in the whole of the UK to take all of our teaching online. So as soon as it became clear that this was going to be a major issue affecting everybody, we ceased face-to-face teaching and moved online straight away. And our student union, the Liverpool Guild of Students, usually that's a physical building where students can go to take part in clubs, societies, cultural groups, sports clubs, all of that type of activity. They now have like an online events program. So while the students who are still here are stuck in their apartments and in their accommodation, with no access to the physical buildings in the university, the Guild of Students still do, still do online activities like sports, not sports, but quizzes, keeping in touch, mindfulness, meditation. You know, there's lots of different activities, but yeah, that's sort of how the Guild are still trying to support students. In terms of the university itself, so I've mentioned we're a very traditional red brick Russell Group university, over 100 years old. We have 9 Nobel Prize winners, and we're the only university in the UK with full clinical coverage. So that includes things like medicine, health sciences, dentistry, vet sciences. We've got around about 33,000 students in total, but on campus we normally have about 25,000 at any one time. We've got around 400 different degree programs. So there's too many to mention. But if you want to know the type of subjects we specialize in, when you think of Liverpool, you should think of the traditional professions. So, for example, medicine, law, business, accounting, finance, architecture, these type of very traditional professional careers. These are the things that Liverpool specialize in. And we also have, you know, a whole range of programs across 400 programs across 54 subject areas. But that is the sort of flavour of Liverpool Uni, traditional and professional. Now, of the 25,000 students that we have, around about 8,000 students are international. So Liverpool as a university is an extremely internationally focused place. It's not as if you would be one of a very small international community. It's a major part of our student body. It's around about a third. And then more broadly within the city, Liverpool is quite an international cosmopolitan city within the UK. So we have people from all over the world living and working here, and there are 4 universities. So you can imagine, you know, with international students at each of those universities, it's kind of a dynamic, energetic city for you to live in as well, and it's diverse. And of course, we've got alumni all over the world, so you will get access to networking with, you know, people from former students who are now situated all over the world. So I mentioned some of the key subjects. Again, on our website, you can drill down further and look at the specific programs, but these are the main key subject areas. In terms of facilities, everything is very good, and we are constantly investing into new facilities, new accommodation, new teaching space, new library, renovations, and so on. and that's part of a multi-million-pound estate investment policy, which is been happening, but it's set to continue over the coming years. But there's always building and always modernisation and always refurbishment as well going on across the campus. We have two 24-hour libraries. We have academic support and English language support. So, for example, you might have a really good standard of English, but when you join any university, you obviously will realise there's a difference between everyday spoken English and academic English. So we do things like academic skills workshops to help you improve those academic skills, like understanding academic English, academic writing, referencing, and so on. You can see on the screen some of the other services we have, so I won't talk about everything, but rest assured, we have everything that you would ever really need. We have an international advice and guidance team available for any issues you might encounter, really, whether that's an accommodation issue or you need some other support to help you get through, the whole international experience. You might really enjoy it, or you may, in the first few weeks, slightly struggle and feel a little bit homesick, which is very, very natural. So we have everything there basically to support you through that. And we also have an award-winning career service. And that's what I'm going to talk about next. So in Liverpool, we have an innovative model of careers and employability support. And it's called the Careers Hub. So we've moved away from the traditional model of careers and employability support, which used to be almost like a job centre, which was just based in a university. We've moved away from that now to a different model where we have careers coaches, who you can see on the screen. Now, they're all from different backgrounds, different ages, and they're not the usual traditional careers advisor. These are people from a range of backgrounds with more current experience. Some of them are very recent graduates, and some of them are from different backgrounds. But they are trained by careers advisors and from a whole range of professionals to give you a more rounded set of skills and to advise you from a number of different perspectives. And in terms of the career studio itself, they have 3 zones. So they have Explore, Connect, and Apply. In the Explore zone, the careers coaches work with you on researching various job sectors and different specific roles within those sectors, and then looking for particular opportunities that you may wish to apply for, such as internships, part-time placements, part-time and full-time jobs, and so on. So within the Explore zone, they will help you to uncover new opportunities, really, and to think in a different way about jobs and the possibilities that exist. Then they move on to the Connect zone, which is where we have networking events with major employers, current professionals, alumni. So you may be interested in working in law, for example, but you'd like to speak to a human rights lawyer, or like a specific type of lawyer, and we can facilitate that by doing these kind of networking events. And of course, then via networking, you gain the contacts, which is good in the future for professional networking and for jobs. And then in the Apply zone, the team help you to do basically to upskill in a number of employability areas. So CV writing, but not merely CV writing, how to be strategic with your CV and how to tailor your CV to the different roles and the different opportunities that you've identified. They can help you with interview technique, psychometric testing, and so on. Now, standing alongside the physical aspect, the physical building itself and the physical teaching, we have a digital discovery event calendar, and you can see there on the screen some of the kind of diverse subjects that we cover, and these go on throughout the whole year. And these are things you can get involved in all the time. And also, out in your own particular academic department, they also deliver their own employability support package. So in the management school, for example, where we have all of the business programs, they deliver something called Management School Extra, where they go one stage further and do things like business games, business competitions, and more specific networking events. So all in all, you get a really, really strong package across the board. And the results have been really good in the last couple of years. So 97% of all of our graduates are in graduate level employment or further study 6 months after graduation. And you can see on the screen some of the other headlines, but this is a very good time in terms of employability outcomes for Liverpool. Fees and scholarships, very quickly. I've just mentioned one of our scholarships because there's probably a broad audience and we've got a very limited time. So, for example, our postgraduate scholarship for international students is called the Vice Chancellor's International Attainment Scholarship. And this is a £2,500 tuition fee discount for the equivalent of a UK first-class bachelor's degree. So if you would like to apply for a master's, if you have, for example, licenciado, licenciatura, or título profesional, you need 8 on 10, and that will give you a £2,500 discount. Now, you'll notice some universities offer a bigger scholarship, but bear in mind with Liverpool, we already have lower tuition fees than comparable institutions. So if you're looking at 4 or 5 different universities, be sure to check the actual cost because usually Liverpool's tuition fee is slightly lower. And without a doubt, the cost of living in UK is lower than nearly every other city in the UK. So when you factor all of those things in, you can get a really attractive package at Liverpool. So do look at that in a lot of detail. You can see the rest of the scholarships online. For example, if you apply for funding with FUMED or FIDER, you will get a 20% discount on your tuition fee. And if you are successful with a CONACYT funding application, they give you a 30% discount because we have a partnership with CONACYT. So check those out online via the link on the screen. But just to let you know, you don't need to apply for scholarships separately. It's automatic, and we inform you of your eligibility for a scholarship by email. Okay, at this point, I'm going to hand over to our current Mexican student, Jorge, and Jorge will start from this screen, and somebody in the team needs to do that for me. So I'm going to be quiet now and let them do that.
¿Cómo están? Pues antes que nada quiero agradecer la invitación de la gente de Innova. Como Michael les comentaba, pues yo actualmente estoy estudiando en la Universidad de Liverpool y bueno, me gustaría pues platicarles un poco de mi experiencia desde que llegué aquí a la universidad y pues qué me ha parecido la ciudad, opciones de alojamiento, temas pues de entretenimiento, de cultura, de deportes que se pueden hacer aquí en la ciudad. Y pues bueno, también al final quiero comentarles un poco de lo que ha pasado desde el COVID, cómo ha sido mi experiencia aquí y pues bueno, cualquier duda que ustedes puedan tener, al final me pueden preguntar. Empezar por comentar. Bueno, desde que yo estaba en Ciudad de México, pues aplicando a diferentes universidades. Disculpen. Un momentito. Pues bueno, me interesaba mucho un nivel académico de la universidad, que tuviera pues prestigio el programa que yo estaba buscando. La Escuela de Arquitectura, que es donde yo estoy estudiando mi programa, pues está rankeada número 7 en todo Reino Unido. Y eso para mí fue pues bastante importante. Además de pues el nivel académico, me interesaba mucho también evaluar los costos de vida en Reino Unido. Entonces, pues desde que investigué sobre pues los costos de de la colegiatura, costos de vida y demás, la verdad es que Liverpool fue una de mis primeras opciones y por eso decidí aplicar aquí a la universidad. Yo apliqué por mi parte a FIDER, a la convocatoria de Banco de México, y también apliqué a la convocatoria de CONACYT FUNED. Afortunadamente me dieron tanto el apoyo de FIDER como el apoyo de FUNED. La beca de CONACYT no me la dieron, pero a pesar de esto, pues me ayudó bastante para poder cubrir con mis gastos, tanto de colegiatura como con los gastos de la eh, vida diaria, ¿no? Lo bueno de la Universidad de Liverpool y en general, pues de la ciudad es que está muy bien ubicada dentro de Reino Unido. Pueden viajar a varias ciudades y pueblos que están muy cerca. A Londres, por ejemplo, pueden llegar en 2 horas y media, 3 horas. A Manchester en menos de 40 minutos pueden llegar. Eh, Pueden ir también a Escocia o pueden tomar un ferry a Dublín o a otras ciudades de Irlanda, por ejemplo. Entonces, eso es algo padre por si quieren pues, conocer un poco más de lo que ofrece pues, esta nación. Recogieron en el aeropuerto. Tienen un servicio de meet and greet. Te pueden recibir tanto en el aeropuerto de Manchester como en el aeropuerto de Liverpool. Y pues esto la verdad es que nos quita un poco el nerviosismo de llegar y de no saber pues qué hacer, a dónde ir, cómo tomar el metro, etcétera. Llegas y encuentras a caras pues bastante amigables desde un principio que pues te reciben y te llevan hasta la puerta de tu residencia estudiantil. Entonces, desde un inicio mi experiencia ha sido bastante grata. La universidad organiza muchos eventos en las primeras semanas para pues conocer un poco de la ciudad, recomendaciones sobre dónde hacer compras, etcétera, familiarizarte con el acento de aquí y también pues para conocer a otros compañeros y a otros estudiantes internacionales que llegan al mismo tiempo. Entonces, pues bueno, la verdad es que fue muy bueno alojamiento. Les puedo contar que mi experiencia no fue muy grata porque yo me esperé hasta llegar aquí a Liverpool para decidir dónde iba a vivir. Este, desde un inicio la universidad pues me había mandado una oferta para una de las residencias estudiantiles, pero yo no la quise tomar. Eh, pero ahora que lo veo en retrospectiva, pues yo les puedo recomendar que las residencias estudiantiles es la mejor opción porque no nada más estás dentro del campus, o sea que llegas en cuestión de minutos a tus clases, sino que tienen muchas amenidades y tienen atención 24/7, entonces te sientes bastante pues en casa y cualquier problema que puedas tener, hay alguien siempre al pendiente y que te puede atender o ayudar con cualquier duda o problema que tengas. Las residencias estudiantiles de la universidad tienen, pues la mayoría son cuartos privados con baño privado y compartes algunos de los otros espacios como cocina, estancia, y bueno, pues salones de juego y cosas que tienen como amenidades las residencias estudiantiles. Los precios varían. Generalmente la universidad cuando les hace una oferta les manda opciones, entonces es importante pues evaluar eh, dentro de los presupuestos que tengan, pues qué puede ser mejor para ustedes. Hay desde cuartos individuales como estudios que tienen todo, o sea, tu cocina, tu estancia y tu recámara, tu baño, y pues otros que son compartidos. Yo en lo personal, ahorita estoy rentando un departamento junto con otros 2 roomies, otra persona de México y otro estudiante de Grecia. En un principio, pues estuve muy presionado para encontrar un lugar donde vivir, entonces es por eso que yo les recomiendo no esperarse, sino buscar desde antes. Y si quieren buscar una opción fuera de la universidad, pues siempre asesorarse con la universidad de dónde pueden buscar, dónde pueden encontrar páginas que tengan anuncios que sean confiables, para que no tengan ningún problema eh, pues de estafas o de que lleguen y no sea lo que esperaban. La renta, pues como decía Michael, la verdad es que es mucho más barata que en otras ciudades del Reino Unido. Yo en lo particular estoy pagando más o menos 400 libras al mes, ya de lo que sería mi renta más servicios. Y bueno, pues aparte mis gastos incluyen pues la comida, mi renta del plan de teléfono, el gimnasio, y pues entretenimiento que puede llegar a representar a lo mejor un total de 200 libras más al mes. Entonces estoy hablando de que gasto más o menos unas 600 libras al mes. Un poco del pues bueno, otro aspecto de lo que me gusta de la ciudad, la verdad es que la ciudad de Liverpool lo tiene todo. O sea, a pesar de ser algo pequeña la ciudad, tiene todas las opciones que se requieran. Entretenimiento, lugares para hacer compras, opciones para ver deportes de primer nivel, muchos museos, parques. Y pues bueno, al haber varias universidades aquí en la ciudad, de hecho son 6 universidades las que hay, la comunidad estudiantil es tan grande que en cualquier lado que estés en la ciudad, te sientes pues realmente rodeado de otros estudiantes y todo lo que ves es gente joven que está pues afuera comiendo, haciendo actividades, deporte, eh, en los antros, fiestas, cafeterías, etcétera. Entonces es bastante amigable y es bastante padre pues poder conocer a otros estudiantes de todas partes del mundo que están aquí. En cuanto al tema de compras, pues la ciudad tiene muchas opciones. La verdad es que no van a batallar para encontrar, pues desde opciones, por ejemplo, de supermercados donde puedan comprar comida barata, hasta opciones de ropa, electrónica, cosas para su casa. La verdad es que hay muchas opciones alrededor de toda la ciudad. Yo, cuando me vine para acá, me traje muchas cosas de México que pensé que iba a necesitar y que no iba a encontrar aquí. Me traje desde, no sé, los toppers para la comida, ropa a morir, zapatos, etcétera. Y cuando llegué aquí me di cuenta de que pues las cosas no están tan caras, que las puedes conseguir aquí. Pues la verdad es que sí dije, no me hubiera traído tantas cosas y me hubiera traído mejor cosas que no puedo encontrar aquí de México. Por ejemplo, comida, dulces, cosas que en realidad no es fácil encontrar aquí. En cuanto a opciones de entretenimiento, la verdad es que hay muchísimas cosas que hacer. Hay lugares donde pues hay conciertos en vivo. eh, por ejemplo, hay lugares donde tocan música de los Beatles, que pueden ir a escucharlos pues prácticamente cualquier día de la semana. Hay varios festivales durante todo el año. Y bueno, pues también hay algunos otros lugares donde pues encuentran opciones de entretenimiento como por ejemplo antros o bares, pues la verdad es que abundan en la ciudad. Hay muchísimos pubs donde pueden pues ir a tomarse una cerveza con sus amigos o ir a comer después de clases, ir a ver un partido, etcétera. En cuanto al tema cultural, tiene muchísimos museos, eh, museos de arte, museos de historia de aquí de la ciudad de Liverpool y también historia en general, por ejemplo, de los barcos, de toda la industria que había aquí en el puerto de Liverpool, del comercio marítimo. También hay museos, pues, de arte en general, museos de ciencias, museos eh, pues, de prácticamente cualquier cosa que se puedan imaginar. También hay muchos parques, lo cual hace bastante padre vivir aquí porque puedes salir y caminar o hacer actividades al aire libre. Yo me he sentido bastante seguro en esta ciudad, o sea, nunca he estado con el pendiente de que me vaya a pasar algo. Puedes estar caminando incluso en la madrugada y la verdad es que te sientes bastante seguro, tranquilo y pues eso es algo bueno. Tenemos a equipos más importantes de la Liga Europea y pues bueno, si tienen la oportunidad pueden ir a partidos. Generalmente hay partidos cada semana. También está un hipódromo muy cerca, donde hay carreras de caballos, que también es algo bastante particular aquí en Reino Unido. Y bueno, pues si no tienen oportunidad de ir a los estadios, también en cualquier pub en la ciudad, siempre están pasando los partidos y el ambiente es súper padre. Puedes ir a ver los juegos con tus amigos y pues pasar un buen rato. Como dato curioso, pues la ciudad ha ganado varias veces mejor ciudad dentro de la comunidad estudiantil, ha sido elegida como una de las mejores ciudades para vivir. Y pues bueno, hay mucho desarrollo. Pueden ver mucha construcción dentro de la ciudad, nuevos desarrollos, mucha oferta de residencias estudiantiles, tanto privadas como de universidades. Entonces hay opciones pues, para todos los bolsillos. La ciudad a mí me ha parecido bastante linda. Puedes caminar por toda la ciudad en menos de 30 minutos, entonces todo queda cerca y pues el clima a veces puede ser un poco desfavorable, hay bastante lluvia, pero pues la verdad es que con un buen paraguas o un impermeable ya estás del otro lado. El frío en general no se me ha hecho tan grave porque aquí no nevó en toda la temporada de invierno. Sí llegó a ser frío, pero la verdad es que todos los espacios tienen calefacción, entonces no hay problema por ese lado. Bueno, si quieren platicar embajadores de la universidad, como es mi caso, dentro de la página de la universidad hay un sistema que se llama Unibody, que es básicamente como un chat donde pueden encontrar gente que esté estudiando el máster que ustedes están haciendo o que estén en la escuela que les interesa y nos pueden preguntar pues cualquier cosa de cuestiones académicas o de la ciudad, etcétera, que tengan dudas. A este chat, menos eh, la dirección, pues tienen que entrar a la página de la universidad, luego ir a Study, después a International, y hay una parte donde tienen para los que ya tienen una oferta, pues más o menos cuáles son los siguientes pasos a seguir, y hay un link que dice conoce a nuestros embajadores. Dentro de esta página les va a aparecer un chat donde pueden ahí contactar a cualquiera de los embajadores para preguntar pues cualquier cosa que tengan de dudas. También pueden ver errores como este caso. Y pues bueno, básicamente sería todo de mi parte. Si tienen alguna duda, pues vamos a pasar a la sesión de preguntas y respuestas.
Hola Jorge, soy Débora. No sé si alcances a
Hola,
ver
Débora.
las preguntas, pero creo que no, esta nada más se mandó a los organizadores, entonces no te aparece a ti. Es una pregunta de Paulina que dice, Can I have 2 scholarships? For example, the one given for FIDER and Vice Chancellor Scholarship?
Pues mira, yo lo que sé es que solamente puedes tener una. En mi caso, como me dieron tanto el apoyo de FIDER como de FUNED, una de ellas me parece que daban el 20% y la otra daban el 20 o 25%. Entonces a mí me dieron solamente la más grande, la del 25%. Pero por ejemplo tengo a un roomie que es de México y él aplicó a la Universidad de Liverpool y le ofrecieron una beca del 100% por la aplicación que tuvo. Entonces vale mucho el statement que haces a la hora de aplicar a la universidad, pues los motivos por los que quieres estudiar y contar un poco de la trayectoria que has tenido profesional o académica, y eso puede representar que te den una beca del 100% en la universidad.
Gracias. También pregunta que cómo te fue en tu experiencia para poner. Me refiero a en la parte de la entrevista.
La verdad es que la parte de la entrevista con FUNED fue súper relajada. Nos citaron a varias personas a la vez, fue una entrevista grupal y básicamente nos hicieron las mismas preguntas a todos y uno por uno fuimos respondiendo. Nos preguntaron, pues básicamente, pues cuál era nuestro interés de estudiar una maestría, qué queríamos aportar pues a la sociedad a nuestro regreso, pues un poco justificar el por qué, ¿no? Por qué considerábamos que nosotros éramos buenos candidatos para recibir el apoyo y pues también nos hicieron algunas preguntas sobre nuestra situación financiera, si necesitábamos o no el recurso, qué podíamos hacer si no nos lo daban, o sea, cuál era nuestro plan B. Entonces, para mí fue bastante sencilla la entrevista. Es algo necesario dentro del proceso de FUNED, pero no es algo determinante dentro del proceso para que te den el apoyo. Lo más importante en FUNED es que apliquen desde las primeras convocatorias, porque la mayoría de las becas y apoyos se van en la primera convocatoria o en la segunda. Entonces, si ya se les pasaron esas primeras convocatorias, es un poco difícil que les den el apoyo completo, como en mi caso, que ya no me tocó la beca de CONACYT porque yo apliqué en la segunda convocatoria de FUNED.
Gracias. Ahora tengo una pregunta de Pamela, que si existe oferta académica en estudios en línea y para estudios en posgrado de Derecho, ¿con qué programas cuentan? No sé si esta es una pregunta más para Michael, por ejemplo.
Sí, creo que Michael les podría contestar un poco mejor sobre el tema, sobre los programas online y también sobre las opciones para derecho.
Okay. Michael, are you there?
I'm there, yes, Debbie, I'm listening very well.
Okay, so there's a question that we think it's for you. And Pamela is asking if there's an offer for courses online. She's interested in, I think it's a master's in law. So she would like to an offer there.
Yes, well, we will be offering online programs. And previously, Liverpool was the biggest online program deliverer in Europe. So we've got a long history of delivering a big portfolio of online programs. But recently, we changed our online partner. So we've moved from the previous online service, which was called Laureate Online, and we're now moving to Kaplan. So at the moment, the exact details of which programs will be available and how to make an inquiry, for example, is not yet available, but it will be soon. And if you visit our website and search for online programs in general, there is a kind of a landing page where you can register for more information.
Michael, there's another question for you. They would like to know if they can have CONACYT or FUNED and the Vice Chancellor's 2,500 scholarship at the same time.
Okay. Well, I wish you could, but at the moment that's not possible. They agreed to offer you one, so you can choose whichever one is the most valuable to you. If you do a particular program with a lower tuition fee, then you might be better taking the Vice Chancellor's Attainment Award, because that's 2,500. But if you do a program which has got a really high tuition fee, you might want to take the FUNED or FIDE percentage discounts, because that might be bigger than in that case. But it depends on your situation, on the program you study, which one you would prefer. But the simple answer is no. You cannot combine them. You can only have one.
Okay, thank you, Michael. And are there any other questions? Okay, Alan, he says he got a little bit late, and he doesn't know if it has already been mentioned. But how do you apply for a scholarship, one of the university scholarships? And another question from him is if the start dates will be changed because of COVID-19.
Okay,
And
I'll take.
he has a third question.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
If you have a calculation of how much it's needed to live in Liverpool, and I think Jorge mentioned something regarding that. So there are three questions. Go ahead.
I'll answer those questions, and maybe Jorge can give a perspective on living costs as well, because he's actually doing it right now. So in terms of how to apply for a scholarship, most of our scholarships are automatically awarded. So you don't need to make a separate application. You just make your basic university application, and based on your results, we tell you if you're eligible for a scholarship. If you are eligible, we automatically credit the scholarship to your account, so you don't need to do any extra work. The only time you might need to do more work is if you, for example, want to apply for an external scholarship, like Chevening, for example, or Civic. You need to apply directly with those organisations. Or if you apply for a University of Liverpool sport scholarship, for example, then you would need to contact the university and do a separate application. But 99% of application of scholarships are automatic. You don't need to do anything. In terms of potential start dates, the university is looking at 3 or 4 scenarios at the moment. So this is not confirmed, but I can give you a general overview of what may happen. Hopefully we will open in September as planned. That is the preferable option for us. The only thing we need to know is, will the airspace be opened? Will the borders be open for international travel? Which countries will be allowing planes to come and go? So because that's very difficult, we can't quite say yet if that's going to happen, but that is what we prefer. Another option is that we have a slightly later start date. So maybe October, November, and in a worst case scenario, perhaps we just have a January intake. So these are the options for face-to-face physical teaching. There's also another scenario whereby we might start in September for most people, but for anybody from a country who are not yet able to travel, they would begin to study online and then join us physically when it's possible. So there's so many different combinations and possibilities. We don't know right now, but they're some of the likely outcomes. And from my point of view, the living costs in Liverpool are lower than most other cities. And I'm actually from Liverpool. I was born in Liverpool, and I've lived in Liverpool my whole life. Usually for a student, we say if you budget between sort of £9,000, maybe £10,000 per year, and that would include accommodation and living, food, lifestyle, kind of everything you would need, for kind of £9,000 or £10,000 maximum. Of course, you can spend more, and anybody can spend a lot, but that is kind of an average student life cost. Perhaps Jorge has some ideas, because he might have a different view on that. I'm not sure.
Sí, yo la verdad es que me preocupaba mucho también el tema financiero, y por ese tema yo decidí rentar fuera de la universidad, porque a pesar de que pues es la mejor opción, los costos sí son un poco más caros que si rentas fuera de la universidad. Y esto en la mayoría de las universidades. O sea, las residencias estudiantiles generalmente son un poco más caras. Pero desde mi punto de vista, por ejemplo, les puedo decir más o menos lo que yo gasto al mes. En renta gasto como 400 libras al mes. Eso ya me incluye pues todos los servicios del departamento: agua, electricidad, internet, gas, etcétera. Y por ejemplo, de comida, pues yo hago el súper cada semana, me preparo mi comida en casa y gasto más o menos de 30 a 40 libras a la semana en comida. Eso al mes vienen siendo de 120 a 160 libras. Y, por ejemplo, algunos otros gastos, yo pagué el gimnasio en la universidad por todo el año, fueron 200 libras por todo el año, eso vienen siendo pues más o menos unas 15, 16 libras al mes, es bastante barato el gimnasio. De celular gasto 10 libras al mes por un plan que tiene internet pues bastante bueno, bastantes gigas y llamadas ilimitadas y demás. Y en entretenimiento, pues es en lo que te puedes llegar a gastar un poco más. Si quieres salir o si quieres viajar o quieres ir a museos, etcétera. En eso yo calculo que a lo mejor al mes te puedes estar gastando entre, pues bajita la mano, 50 a 100, 200 libras al mes. Entonces, un presupuesto mensual, yo diría que ronda entre los 500, 600 libras al mes, lo que yo me llego a gastar. Pero claro, si te quedas en una residencia estudiantil donde gastas un poco más de renta, pues sí se puede transformar en fácil 700, 800 libras al mes. Entonces es importante pues evaluar, pues sí, desde dónde quieren vivir y después pues cómo va a ser su vida académica. Si van a comer todos los días fuera de casa, pues evidentemente va a ser un poco más caro. O si van a querer salir mucho, viajar, etcétera, pues también tienen que buscar en dónde ahorrar para que no se salgan de presupuesto. Yo les puedo decir que con lo que me dio FIDER y FUNED, me ha sido suficiente para cubrir mis gastos de renta y de comida. Y claro, todo lo que es entretenimiento y gastos adicionales, pues ha corrido de mi bolsillo.
Gracias, Jorge. Paulina is asking, Michael, is there any opportunity for us to get to know before the CAS is issued if we are eligible for a university scholarship?
Yes, absolutely. So, for example, if you would like to apply for a master's program, if your promedio is 8 or above, then you will qualify for the Vice Chancellor's £2,500 International Attainment Award. So it's usually based on your promedio. So the better you've done, the more likely it is that you will qualify for a scholarship. But when we make you an offer, we send various emails at different times, and one of those emails is concerning a scholarship. So we will tell you what your tuition fee would be, and we will tell you the scholarship that you are eligible for.
And thank you, Michael. Alan is saying that your answers were really clear and complete, and thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much. That is a very nice compliment, and we're not used to compliments, so we appreciate them very much.
Thank you, Alan. And I have another question. It's a student that has an offer for a PGT certificate, and he received an email getting he was offered the Vice Chancellor scholarship. He is self-funded, and he wants to be sure if he's, I'm reading in Spanish and translating, give me a second. Okay, so he wants to be sure if he's going to get this scholarship, even though he's going for a PGT certificate and not a master's as such.
Yes, if he has been told he is eligible, then that will be honoured. So there's no worries there, there's no problem. If you've received an email that tells you are eligible for this award, then you are eligible. Because what actually happens behind the scenes is that we have a team of admissions tutors, and the admissions tutors is a team of people who work through every application, and they identify scholarship entry criteria, and if you're eligible, it's not an automated decision from a computer. It's actually a person who has read your application and decided that you are eligible for the award. So yes, if you've received confirmation, you will definitely get the award.
Okay, great, that's good news. Okay, checking the chat, and Paulina is saying, I know that there's a scholarship for women when they apply for the MBA in football industries. I
Yes.
already have my own conditional offer, but haven't got any advice of getting the scholarship. How can I know if scholarships were already given out?
Okay, well, what I can tell you, the people who decide, excuse me 1 second. Thank you. The people who distribute these scholarships do them at different points in the year, because obviously we have a lot of applicants, and with the coronavirus situation, there's been some delays. So they're still in the process of awarding the scholarships. And I know that the person who does the MBA scholarships is in the process of doing that right now. So you could contact the university directly to ask, to ask if there's been any updates about scholarships. But I do know that they are doing them at the moment, because I asked on behalf of another student a few days ago, and the person from the management school who distributes MBA scholarships told me she's doing that at the moment. So you should hear within the next week or two about that, hopefully sooner. But you can also ask the team in Innova to contact us and ask that question, because I will always try and help you, as quickly as possible. And I'm also happy for you to send me an email directly. But if you're in the habit of speaking to the team at Innova, because they're a great team to work with, they can always pass the message on.
Thank you, Michael. Okay, are there any other questions? I'm going to wait for a few seconds to see if there's something else they want to ask. ¿Ya no tienen preguntas? Okay, Pamela is saying thank you for the information.
De nada.
And for inviting them to this session. You're welcome. It's our pleasure. And I hope you found it useful.
Yes. Thank you also, Debbie, for being in the chat. That is very helpful for us. And thank you, Michael, for this presentation. Thank you also, Jorge. I think it was very helpful for us and for our students to be able to speak to you directly and to have this kind of webinars. And well, so remember, in Innova, we can help you with your application process if you haven't started throughout your scholarship process and with the visa process. So you can be in touch with us whenever you want to start your process. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Thank you, Debbie, and thank you again, Michael and Jorge.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.